the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win.
He got it.
If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, March 6th. It is March. I'm trying not to be down, Landon, because we somewhat expected this. You go into Ole Miss on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. We won't get into the whole Tennessee of it with a 1 seed dangling in front of you. Leave that out of it. This result's not surprising. That Ole Miss team's a very, very competitive basketball team. But it's very sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, that wasn't fun at all. I usually like regular season losses, like they get to me, but I can usually cool off for a few minutes and go to bed and be fine. Dude, this morning I was fuming still. And it wasn't like, I mean, yeah, there was points and times where Tennessee didn't play well, but like you didn't shoot the ball terribly yesterday. It was just like a compound of what was in front of you and the missed opportunities. I mean, I don't know what happened yesterday. We couldn't hang on to the ball. Like no one could catch the ball. Like there was turnovers, there was times where we just didn't get back in time. Like it just was I mean, I know you said don't factor in the Tennessee, but it was a very much just like a Tennessee way to lose a basketball game.
I would only say it's a Tennessee way to lose a basketball game because Brakefield couldn't miss a shot.
Yeah, that's another thing. He came in averaging 11 points, didn't even start for him, and had 19 points in the second half.
However you say his name, hit a flat-footed three. He shot a three like a free throw and made it. So, and I just mean leave the Tennessee out of it, and the fact of it sucks no matter what. You lose, like you said, regular season losses are in baseball and basketball are easy to shake off. This one, I think you can leave the 1 seed dangling in front of you Tennessee factor of all of it, and it still sucks just the way it occurred. That you factor that in, and yeah, it makes for a miserable Thursday here in Knoxville. But I was trying to leave that out of it, Landon. But now that you brought it up, I mean, and that I think that again, getting back into the Tennessee of it, if you will, this isn't a game where, as a whole, you just played awful, but you went through stretches. You gave up a 9-0 lead to a 9-0 run. I think you gave up a 8-0 lead to an 8-0 run. And you weren't able to handle the runs in this game, and it absolutely killed you, and they throttled you in those runs. And that's the saddest part of it all. And this isn't end of the world. I'm not ready to press panic button. I'm sad and I'm mad. I'm not going to vent on this show like I did at work today about it. But I want it to be a 1 seed. Not that it matters in the grand scheme of things. At the end of the day, if you want to win, you got to win from wherever you're at. Does it get easier from a 1 seed? Probably. But you also never know. You could get the worst draw of all time from the 1 seed still. You just don't know. So I'm going to try not to be upset about it. I think I got all my venting out. Maybe it'll come up during the show. I will not make any promises. I'm going to try.
Well, I feel like I need to maybe vent a little bit.
Okay.
So maybe I'll do enough for the both of us. This was the one single thing that you could do to set this team apart is to be a 1 seed. Like you mentioned, in the grand scheme of things, probably doesn't matter. But this was the one thing that you could do that no other team has done before you. And now you still have a chance to do something like that, but man, it would have been really cool to just be a 1 seed. And I guess.
But my take on this team is I love it. We talked about it on Sunday. It's a really gritty team. It's a fun team to watch. They have talent. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not saying this is a team that has no business being. They have business doing what they're doing, but it just where Tennessee's been in the last 6 or so years, you don't feel like this is one of their more talented teams. Yet here they sit as number 4, 5, whatever they end up being on Monday, team in the country, 6, and you're on the cusp of being a 1 seed before this game. And my thought was, you're not going to win a championship with this team. They don't have the makings of it. I would love to be proven wrong, but they just don't.
Yeah.
You've just at least been a 1 seed. And maybe it's sadder to not win a championship when you finally get a 1 seed. Maybe. But I would have at least liked to say, hey, we got a 1 seed this year. That was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was that one thing that was going to set you apart. And you had it. I mean, just take a look back at Saturday, how big of a high, like, I mean, we were, but I'm talking about fans and the team. I mean, you had, Rick Barnes and Zakai Ziegler hugging in the locker room, and you had people celebrating Jamal Meshack. And I mean, we did a whole apology tour on this show for Jamal, and then just to come out on Wednesday and just lose in that way.
We knew it was coming. I'm not going to pretend to be surprised.
Well, I mean, good God. You make a 4-point play, and then you give up an offensive rebound, and then you miss a wide open layup. God. And it wasn't even, I mean, I shouldn't say it was wide open.
It wasn't wide open. I mean, he got a hand on the ball. I mean, it wasn't wide open.
But
it's sad, and it kind of felt like it was going to maybe look like, which it would have just tied the game. That would have sent the game into overtime. But felt like maybe it's going to look like Saturday there for a moment because Igor Milicic gets the ball. That ball is not supposed to be in his hand for that shot. I don't know if he's the 5th option like Jamal was, but he was not 1, 2, or 3. And he turns and he's just got to go to the hole and gets as far as he can, virtually unscathed before the buzzer. And just, it was Ole Miss's night at that point. You talk about that rebound, that offensive rebound on the other end.
Yeah.
And at that point, that 4-point play felt like it was okay. Things are swinging Tennessee's way.
Mm-hmm.
It was unfortunate. It was very sad, and I want to be so much angrier, but it's hard when people say dumb things out of anger around you, because just let me be the one to say dumb things out of anger. One time. Correct me on something one time when I'm angry.
Yeah.
But I just hear stuff and it kind of calms me down because I'm thinking, I'm not that far yet.
I'm not on a fire Rick Barnes tour because I lost to Ole Miss on the road. And like that, the sucky part about it is you're the number 1 defense in the country, and this kind of goes back into it was just Ole Miss's night. I mean, Rick Barnes is just mad at the defense. Like, you lost because of your defense. That sucks.
And not even so much your defense. You lost because you got beat on the boards. You gave up a lot of second chance points. I mean, they did not shoot exceptionally well. They shot good, but they didn't shoot exceptionally well outside of Brakefield, who shot exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know at what point he starts shooting Steph Curry range threes, but he should have tried to find out if it's his night or not. It's kind of feels like a wasted opportunity by him not to try it.
Yeah, just a brutal way to lose that one. And I mean, 78 points isn't a lot, but good God, I feel like Tennessee could have. There was times in this game I thought like, oh, this is where we go on a run, and this is it. And we go on a run, and then we, like you mentioned earlier, we would give it right back. And it would just be dumb plays. It would be like, a long rebound where they have 4 guys on one, or, we would turn the ball over and dribble it off our foot. Just stupid stuff.
And our guards are really good at turning it over for an easy transition play. It's very, very frustrating. I mean,
and then your best shooter disappears in the second half. He has 13. He leads everybody, leads the entire court, and has 13 points at half, and then has 2 points in the second half.
How many threes did he even attempt in the second half?
I mean, did Brakefield steal his shoes or something? Like, what happened at halftime? Total flip to the script.
It was fun for the first little bit of the season, and I mean, well into the season. I shouldn't say first little bit, when we would be like, man, Chaz Lanier had a quiet 26, or first half, he had a quiet 15. The quiet's getting annoying now. The quiet is lost its luster for me. I would like for him to show up, tell everybody where he's at on the court, and hit some shots. He is your scorer, should be, and can't do it in waves, or can only do it in waves, I guess, and just the valleys are low, man. A lot of talk about should Jordan Gainey start over Ja'Mon Meshack. Right now, I think Jordan Gainey should just be in the starting lineup over probably 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
The Ja'Mon Meshack's talk can stop. Let's talk about the others, because Jordan Gainey is your most impactful player. Best won't go there yet. Most impactful is Jordan Gainey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what has happened to Igor Milicic? I mean, I know he hit that 4-point play, but besides that, he would have had 5 points in the game.
Only 3 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a guy where when Brakefield was on his run and you kind of need to switch, it shouldn't have been Meshack to guard a guy like that. It should be Igor.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a mismatch or not. We didn't get to see it because, I mean, Brakefield just dominated whoever was in front of him, so maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. But, if Agpar is kind of your big guy, your athletic big guys should be Igor, and they put a 6'5" guard on a 6'8" post.
I will say I felt bad for Agpar last night. I didn't think he played bad defense. I think it was in that first half where they would just switch off Brakefield and however you say his name, and just whoever went into him. I thought he played fine defense. Oftentimes it was turnaround floaters in the middle of the paint that they would hit. And what do you do about that?
Well, this wasn't just him. This was kind of the team in general, but you can't, if they have a layup, you can't foul too. Or if you're going to foul, earn it and make sure he doesn't hit that shot.
I mean, the amount of how many 3-point opportunities do they have on Amazon?
3 or 4. They had to be 3 or 4.
I mean, I would probably say more than that. You have, I don't know, maybe not more than that. I can see I guess I don't know about one-on-one opportunities. I was gonna say I could see at least 4 on here, but I don't know about one-on-ones. So never mind.
Yeah. I don't know. That was extremely frustrating. I mean, Zakai has 15 assists.
I think they had a 4-point play opportunity too that got missed. Didn't they? Or did he just shoot through? I know he fouled a 3-point shooter last night. I now cannot remember if it went in or not.
Probably. And Dubar was one of your best players in the first half. Where did he go? I mean, didn't have a turnover. He had 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and 7 points, and he doesn't play. Why is he not on? I mean, I don't know how great he is defensively, but he should be able to at least match up a little bit with Brakefield, or at least try and see what happens.
Let him go earn some fouls that way. You ain't gonna play him long. Let him go
Somebody said, "Man, I wish we had a Walker last night." Yeah, Walker would have fouled out in the 5 minutes.
I would have loved that. I agree with that take. I was worried you were going to go with the. I'm so glad I forget his name all the time. Oh my gosh!
Hey, dude.
No.
Cam Carr?
No, 7-footer. Oh my word. White guy, sort of. Jeez.
Oh, are you talking about Zach Edey?
No, from Tennessee.
Oh,
Transferred from
Urosh.
Urosh. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that name, and I was like, can we never again, I should say, mention his name? I will say I saw a video posted last night. Someone said why I hate Tennessee, and it was a video of Urosh fouling a FAU player. That time he just forearm checked that guy running into the lane in the Elite or in the Sweet 16. And I wanted to comment and be like, we don't like him either. So we're on the same page. But I guess that's an unpopular opinion of mine, which is crazy. But
well, that guy wasn't going to make the layup, though. I will give him that.
No, he was not. It was a 3-point shot, and he did not try to rebound. I guess he tried to put his body on someone, but he wouldn't have gotten the rebound. I mean, he was facing the other way.
Speaking of that, how do you not call a foul on the one where Jamai just gets shoved in the lane?
I must have missed that one, which is whatever.
It's where he got hurt.
Oh, I couldn't tell what happened at scrum, but also whoever was producing that ESPN broadcast fired. That was one of the worst produced broadcasts of all time. I don't know if they only had 3 cameras in the arena they were allowed to use for replay.
That's what it felt
I
like.
don't know if there's a 30-second cool-off period before they can show. We have this intense out of bounds, and they're showing timeout huddles. While the refs get to watch the video from every single angle, we can't get one. Then they finally show a terrible angle. Clip away for 15 seconds. I'm thinking, that's all we get. Awesome. Yeah, it was good. They come back, bad angle. And instead of trying to find a good one, or maybe showing it again, they just go away from it. I was like, okay, thanks, guys. Good job. So if you're that producer on the ESPN broadcast, I'm confident. I'm calling for your job. We're calling for heads. You're done.
They would show a replay and they'd be talking about a different play.
I missed that one.
I forget what it was, but yeah, they were talking about a completely different play, and they were showing something about, I think, Zakai making a layup or something. I was like, what is this? Another person that I just don't get like the substitutions, I guess. Why is Cade Phillips not in the game? I mean, if you're getting kind of beat physically, do you not just want a guy? I mean, he can block shots. He's going to foul. I mean, they're calling it anyway. We might as well at least get make it worth it. I don't know. He played 6 minutes last night. He did have 2 fouls and 2 rebounds, but I mean, what you were doing last night on defense wasn't working. I don't know why you didn't try more things.
I wish he played for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 fouls, 2 rebounds would have been an all-time stat line.
They probably weren't far off from 2 minutes apart. Yeah, just a tough game. And then, we're going to go into probably the 1 seed stuff, but that just
I mean, we can talk about it. What is there to talk about? Florida
I guess,
and beats Alabama.
Well, I was going to ask you this. Do you think they were going to give it to Florida anyway?
I would be. I think that's the Florida-Tennessee situation was probably going to be one of those where the SEC tournament suddenly matters.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think whoever performed better in that, I don't know if that means winning the most games or not. I have no idea what that would mean for them. That's probably what it would have been. I mean,
well, it just stinks because we're talking about Tennessee's back end of their schedule, and you're like, okay, you beat Texas A&M, or lose to A&M and win out, or beat Alabama and lose another one here and there, you're probably still a 1 seed. And now it's looking like, oh, you're going to have to win out. And then maybe it was going to be settled in the SEC tournament. So maybe at the end of the day, it wasn't going to happen regardless.
Yeah, maybe.
But you didn't give yourself a chance because you lost to an Ole Miss team who, I mean, that Ole Miss team is not very talented. I know they played decent last night. I think that Grant Williams team, like how physical they were, I think they dominate that Ole Miss team.
I mean, probably that's what it was. It was a physical matchup. I mean, it was who was going to be the most physical, and
I think Ole Miss, I don't want to say out hustled, but that's what it felt like last night. They were on every loose ball. I mean, there's one where I think Zakai dribbles it off a Ole Miss player's foot, and then you have Brakefield just diving on it, and it turns out to be a jump ball in favor of Tennessee. But still, I mean, it just felt like Tennessee just got outworked.
Yeah,
last night, when I think Tennessee is definitely more talented than that Ole Miss team, top to bottom.
Yeah, and let me ask you this too, just for sake of maybe getting our hopes up. If Florida loses to Ole Miss, that's a quad 1 loss. They're 7-5. Tennessee's 9-6. I mean, they're virtually the same record at the end of the day.
11-6, right?
Not Tennessee's 9-6 currently in quad 1 wins.
Oh, quad 1. I thought you were talking about in the conference. Sorry.
They're both undefeated, quad 2.
Yeah. I don't know. Are they going to look at, well, Tennessee lost to Auburn, Florida beat Auburn, Tennessee beat Alabama at home, Florida beat them on the road? I don't know. I just felt like you kind of needed Alabama to win that game to make it a for sure thing, and I just think some way they're going to screw Tennessee out of a 1 seed regardless.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe.
I don't know, but we just magically forget that Florida lost to Georgia like 2 weeks ago. So love that.
They did. I mean, that they did. So what was that one? Because I was looking at they're undefeated in quad 2. So I was like, that was quad 1 loss. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up, but I think it's worth talking about. I mean, Tennessee benefited from, they could have just taken care of business in the back end. Florida benefits where on the back end of theirs, they could, I guess they both beat Alabama, but I was going to say they benefit from being able to climb by virtue of winning.
Well, here's the thing. It can kind
Tennessee
of change like game to game. So if Tennessee, I don't know if they do, but if they, let's say, South Carolina by 40 points, I mean, maybe the national media is looking at this team a lot differently.
I don't think they should,
because
personally.
I
just want to get that
I don't
out
think
there.
so either. But I mean, we saw how they were on Saturday, and then they couldn't wait to release that bracketology where Tennessee's now back at the 2 seed.
Yeah, I just want to get out in front of that. I do not believe that Tennessee should be credited with any kind of win over South Carolina. That seems not good.
Do we drop to a 3 seed if we lose?
I think they should give a not coach of the year award for the way that blank on his name, the way he probably should have been coach of the year last year. Did he win it? Why can't I think of South Carolina's coach's name?
It's not Frank. What's his name?
It's the dude from UTC. It's I have a name in my head. Lamont Paris. I almost thought it was Lamont Paris. But I think he should have won last year. I don't know who won last year. I can't remember. He should win not coach of the year this year. Which technically 15 others will not win it, but there should be a not win it award. You did not. You had no chance.
Yeah, the coach of the year has to go to Missouri, right? Whoever, I forget his name.
Missouri could be. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of
Dennis Gates. That's it.
I think there's a lot of good candidates. I mean, it could. I mean, not that. I feel like it could be Todd Golden. I think it could. I mean, Buzz Williams is probably in the conversation.
Todd Golden for
Coach of the Year.
Oh,
Florida.
okay. Yeah.
I think he's
I don't know
probably in it.
after the off the court stuff.
Hey, innocent.
No, name dragged through the mud.
He overcame that.
Yeah, reputation.
But yeah, I think there's a couple good candidates for it. Chris Beard. They finished so low in the SEC, but it's also been a solid year for them. So
I don't know. Dennis Gates. They didn't
But if
win
we're
a
going-
single SEC game last year.
very fair point. If we're going off the field stuff, Chris Beard is eliminated as well,
Yeah.
or off the court. Sorry.
So Brian Kelly should never win an award either.
Hey, innocent.
let's just go down the list of who should not win an award because of off court stuff. Shiano.
What's his deal? He's just mean? Is that what it is? Or does he have real stuff? Oh, I guess he was tangled up in that Penn State stuff.
Yeah.
I will say, gotta suck to be a coach during all that.
Yeah.
What if you were, well, there was a grad assistant. I think that there's a whole story to that. But yeah, just what's this gap in your resume?
Yeah.
Well,
Don't worry about it.
they took down the statue and everything, so it doesn't count.
I mean, respect. He's got back to a head coach, and maybe at some point he gets fired, and then you're the best thing you could ever be as a fired football coach.
You think his Rutgers buyout's that good? I guess it's better than most buyouts.
Yeah,
You're
better than
still
mine.
right. I think it's more so an SEC fired football coach is really the.
Oh, did you see? What's his name? Got 11 million.
Who?
What's that idiot's name in Oregon? Dan
Lanning.
Dan Lanning. Yeah. Yeah, the guy who just loves to smoke cigars and leather chairs.
Oh, is that his thing?
There's some kind of hype video. I don't know what it was, but somebody was talking about him recruiting, and he was just smoking a cigar after he landed a recruit. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, it's after a recruit where you're going to do that, you don't win anything. You just do it after.
What if he's a cigar guy?
He might
He's
be.
actually
He
just
probably
a
is. He
normal
kind of looks
Tuesday
like
night.
one. He's a little red in the face. He's probably got some of that going
That's
on.
the high blood pressure.
Yeah. Probably needs one or two.
More than likely. Well,
I hate losing basketball games. I hate basketball.
I like the take that you talked about. You're not built for basketball. I mean, this SEC schedule in baseball is gonna tear you up. then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I mean, Tuesday night had to really at least get to you for a few innings.
Oh, yeah. I was annoyed. I was done. Fire Tony. Friend of the pod. Fire him so he can come hang out with us all the time.
Yeah, we've got a job waiting for him.
Yeah. It's more of a volunteer, but you've probably done that before. You're used to it.
Yeah. We can't even have you hold camps for. I mean, I guess we could. You just probably won't make any money doing it.
Yeah.
You will not be like Ross Kivett willing to show your tax returns. You will be embarrassed by it.
I feel like we kind of do if that ever happened, we kind of treat Tony Vitello like like Hulk Hogan. You do weird signings and appearances, like Eastbound and Down when he goes he's like, I got a huge deal for you. He's paying the big bucks. $300.
Yeah, I'll watch that fight at a car dealership.
Oh yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah, see how fast he can throw a fastball. Strike somebody out.
Yeah. I mean, he's not real confident about his playing days, but maybe he's got something in there.
Or maybe he's gotten really good at hitting a fungo bat. We'll see how far he can hit a fungo.
Sure. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm not made for the basketball runs.
You're made for this baseball run specifically.
Yeah, you can. I don't know. There's just something about this basketball team, and I know it's like kind of the offense, and it's just like a team that just doesn't have a lot of offense, but man, it's just frustrating. Even when we win, there's a lot of frustrating points in the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's also just, any sport in general, but
yeah,
it's definitely part of basketball.
Yeah.
Especially college basketball. Especially a college basketball team with 9 scholarship players.
I've actually enjoyed basketball a lot more since I've stopped betting on it.
Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind how so many people gear up for March Madness to bet. I think it's the worst betting season of all time.
Yeah.
It is. March Madness is designed for you to lose. Yeah, it's euphoric when it hits, but it's rare.
Yeah.
And it sucks when it doesn't hit. I will tell you that.
I mean, last bet I put in, I did a parlay of 4 games.
That's
and I
crazy.
lost all 4.
College basketball, 4 games in college basketball.
Well, it was more like I'd tease up, tease down, do a money line. Like I did a couple different things. And I didn't hit a single leg.
But they were all college basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was just throwing a little bit just to see if they could bring me back. And I was just like, all right, this is my sign to be done with it.
Yeah. If you're winning in college basketball, let me tell. Let me see the slips. I want to verify, and then I'll tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're betting at March Madness, you're addicted to gambling. I'm sorry to tell you that. Call 1-800. There's some line out there for you.
Especially if you're doing spreads. I mean, spreads are in basketball are the dumbest thing.
We were in Vegas it wasn't March Madness, but it was the heart of conference play mid-February. And everyone was very excited to throw down some college basketball bets. And all I was thinking is I would rather lose this at a blackjack table.
Mm-hmm.
I think I bet on 3 games.
I'll never forget. I had a $100 free bet, and I was like, okay, what am I doing it on? It was like the first round of the NCAA tournament, and it was like Georgia Tech, I think, versus somebody. And I did a little research, and I was like, okay, I'm taking Georgia Tech because they have the ACC Player of the Year, and they're just gonna will their way to victory with him. They lost by 35 points in the first round. 35.
Yeah, that checks out.
So I was like, yeah, March Madness is dumb.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, but it is dumb.
Yeah.
It starts next week. I get it. I mean, it's March, obviously, but conference tournament play starts next week.
God, meaningless.
It is meaningless, but it's fun.
Yeah. Like it would be really cool if they kind of release not the field, but the list of all the at-large bids, and then conference. There was conference tournaments just for those.
I'd have to let that, flesh that one out in my head a little bit. But me and Chase talked about on Home and Home, we talked about there being a way that the committee has to say, or they either say conference tournament play doesn't matter or it does matter. And if they say it does matter, I said they have to prove it in the way that they seed teams. I think that's a great point, Landon. Before conference tournament play starts next week, I think the committee should have to release their bracket.
Yeah.
And say, this is who we're putting in as of today. And then the next Sunday, we can look at it and see what's changed, and then we'll know if it truly matters or not.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
And they have to do that every year.
Yeah, because like if you're gonna have 12 SEC teams, I think you take the top 11 and they're already in. Whatever. Why even play this tournament? And have those, what is that, 5 teams?
Yeah,
5 teams play a tournament. That would be really difficult now that I'm saying it, but it would be awesome.
Yeah, no, it would be awesome. And I do want to mention, you talk about conference play not mattering. This week is the week that conference play truly matters. Most of your auto bids, or your not auto bids, because those still take place in conference play, but the ones that require an auto bid to get in are playing this week. All of the smaller tournaments will wrap up on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So this is the week to watch conference tournaments that matter. Gotta get in on it.
NC State, it mattered to them last year.
Did matter to them. I didn't like it. Even the Sun Belt's playing right now.
Yeah, we got a question. They were a fan in Memphis.
Of Memphis or in Memphis?
In Memphis, sorry.
Okay. No, you said in Memphis. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. They wanted to ask anonymously, so I'm going to leave their name out of it.
Oh, we don't do that here.
What are the chances of us running into Memphis in the NCAA tournament? And I did some research on this because I got it earlier today. Honestly, depending on where they are at, Memphis is a 6 or 7 seed. If they're a 7 seed, they could meet Tennessee in the second round if Tennessee is obviously in their same bracket as a 2 seed. So that would be a fun round of 32. Probably not for my blood pressure, but yeah. Interesting matchup.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. It would suck. You're right. It would be painful for blood pressure mainly. Just if you can't, that's when you can't lose. Sorry, not an option.
I mean, just imagine Penny Hardaway just shaking in his boots on the sideline, round of 32 matchup, and that's to say he's got to beat a 10 seed to do that. So, probably not a great chance that we meet Memphis, but it would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I did. I don't know. Did we talk about this on Sunday? Or maybe before that, or I don't know. But the Big South is playing their conference tournament in Johnson City. Games are on.
You did say that.
Games are semifinals Saturday, championship Sunday. I don't know who. Obviously, we don't know who's going to be in it right now. But High Point, I don't know where they're at this year. They're the 1 seed in it, though. You have Gardner-Webb, UNC Asheville, Winthrop, and Longwood, who are all. I can't remember if Gardner-Webb's made one recently, but the others that I named have made some interest of the NCAA tournament in recent history.
Huh. That's weird that it's in Johnson City.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, the SoCon plays it in Asheville every year, just about every year, at least recently. And I guess they don't. I thought UNC Asheville would have been in the SoCon. I didn't know they weren't. So I guess it's just. I mean, all those teams are fairly close to Johnson City.
Yeah.
I guess it's somewhat in the area.
Yeah, they It'd be a lot closer to Asheville too, which, whatever. Hey, and I don't. I mean, I guess Johnson City is a big enough.
There's probably teams in Kingsport, staying in Kingsport, Bristol.
Yeah,
I would imagine. But also, you already have it whittled down to 8 teams right now.
Okay. Yeah,
and that's just basketball teams. So I mean, you wouldn't need.
Yeah.
Obviously, for the fans, I don't know where they're all staying. Good question, but how many fans are going to the Big South besides us?
You're right.
Sunday 2:30, you there? Or Saturday 2:30?
I don't know about that.
I think we can get some Gardner Webb gear if they make it.
I'd be in to go to the championship game
on Sunday.
Yeah,
at 12.
God,
you can get pals for breakfast.
Ooh, dude, you should be.
I mean, this sounds fun to me. I mean, I told you I think we should go. Obviously, going for a week of like an SEC tournament would be more fun because the problem is you could be there till Saturday, not cheering for Tennessee if you locked in the commitment of going for a week. So I think the more fun thing would be go to like the SoCon
where you don't care about it.
You don't have any rooting interest. Obviously, some for ETSU, but not any that's if they lost in the first round, it is what it is. We move on. I think it would be a lot, and it's in Asheville, so it's a fun city. I think it'd be a great time.
Oh, I thought you were talking about going to the Big South.
Well, that's obviously
or either one.
We couldn't do that for the week this year.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think it's in Johnson City every year. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. I think it's just this year right now. But I think in the future we should plan a SoCon tournament, week-long extravaganza where we roll up to the Harrah's Resort and Casino Convention Center and just I think we root for whoever we want to. If it's underdogs, it's underdogs. And I think that would be a fun way if we're going to bet in March Madness. That would be a fun way to bet in March Madness. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. That's okay. I think we should do it. If anyone else wants to join us, you can. This isn't just for Landon and myself and Joey, who will be required to go for his job, and Deuce. But anyone can join. We'll get a big B&B if we need to.
I'm in. Can you see me?
No, I can't. I didn't know if that was just me or I was just going to roll with it. I was going to pretend I could.
I don't understand what just happened.
I see you frozen down here still. So maybe check your camera. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Full disclosure, I don't know exactly where we're at. We have jumped around quite a bit. And I guess we'll just go on to the next thing. If you're still with me, Landon, Rickey Gibson staying. So is there more money still in the NIL coffers, I suppose?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It really is. I think I guess it's going to take care of itself.
Yeah, I guess it's not 100% he's back because that portal doesn't open. The official portal season doesn't open up till after spring practice anyways, but obviously weird to go through it if you don't think you're going to stay maybe.
Yeah, I think once he gets out there on the practice field, I think that's probably the end of that. I would think.
Which is huge. Obviously, Jamal McCoy being down for we don't know how long, and truthfully, they won't know how long until it kind of rolls around there in the fall. That was going to be a massive loss, and unfortunately, in this era, I've said it. I don't remember if it was on this show or if it was one of our special episodes. I don't necessarily blame Rickey Gibson for you have more leverage now. Use it. I mean, you're going to do that in the NFL, and you're going to do it in other jobs. It is annoying, and I think athletic directors should be working on real solutions to things like that, contracts. But it sucks, and it's not fun to experience it as a fan because you don't know when it ends. If Rickey Gibson has a really good spring and feels really confident and even better about where he's at, what's to stop him from going on April 15th and saying, all right, I want more money. even if they've already given him. Where does that end? I don't understand. Good to have him back. That's my main takeaway, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I just you had to have him back. I mean that's the reality of it. Like, there's no way to go around like losing to your top corners. I mean, it's already a position that where you don't have a ton of depth. And you're gonna go in and probably play. I mean, were you gonna move Boo Carter to corner? I mean, I think there was a lot of kind of what ifs. Like, what are you gonna do there during spring practice? Probably like, hey, those freshmen are gonna have a heavy dose of practice time and reps and see what you got. But if you have Rickey Gibson, I think you're feeling good about it. We'll see where Jamon McCoy's at. But yeah, if he's asking for money now, I would imagine this might be his last year at Tennessee.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully he has a good year and he's gone pro anyway. But I mean, the guy has 0 picks in 2 years, so I would want a little bit more production before I just break the bank on somebody. But it's what he did wasn't wrong, I don't think. But I think the whole making it public was just probably the wrong way to go about it, in my opinion. Should have done that behind the scenes.
I don't know how long that stays behind the scenes, so I don't know if that matters much. I mean, I don't think it was the wrong thing to do given the environment we're in. But it's still not fun, right or wrong. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Landon, man, you're the one with the
dude, I don't know what it is
tonight. So
can you still hear me?
I can hear you fine. You sound great. You look
in the world
frozen. You look like a statue. An impressive feat. Yeah, I don't know what Landon's hit. It's been
that's my.
We started late because I had a power flicker, cut my internet off for a minute, and then we've battled some technical difficulties on Landon's end. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess the mic works. So this will be a great podcast. If you're watching the video, I'm sorry.
Yeah, going back to our roots. It's what we do. It is what we do.
Yep.
All right. Spring practice. It's almost here. Would they limit the? Is it 50,000?
45.
45,000. Okay, just under 50. They announced if they're going to charge this year.
Yeah, it's $10.
Okay. Was it just 10 last year?
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's a fee, of course. So it's probably gonna be like $12.
No way. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean whatever. It's not gonna be televised, so I guess if you want to watch it, you do have to go to the game. Maybe that gets more people there. Here's the thing with spring practice. It doesn't mean jack crap.
No, it doesn't.
And like you can hear about, oh, this player looks good, that player looks good, and then it comes to the season. And I mean, we heard nothing but good things about Dante Thornton his first year. We heard nothing but good things about Chris Brazzell last year. And I mean, Dante Thornton was a lot better this year, but Chris Brazzell was kind of a non-factor at most points during the season. And then the year before that, Dante Thornton was not good. They didn't have him in the right position, but he was not good.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm not willing to say spring practice is bad, but yeah, it's not. Just don't ever look too much into it.
Yeah. And then the spring game, I can't imagine if that's going to be anything.
I wish we'd go to something closer to a true spring game, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, just have an open practice. I don't know why it's so secretive, but whatever. Is there any kind of players that you're interested in? Because I do think for like younger guys, like spring practice is a good like meter of where you think you might be come fall camp. Like
Yeah,
in depth chart wise.
well, and I think I think spring practice is always going to be good for the players. When I say it's useless, it's just you're not from an outside perspective, you're not going to learn anything. I
Right.
think for the players at this level, we've talked about it lower levels. At this level, it's a good thing. You get to go put pads on and be competitive. You get to, like you said, find out where you're at. You get to learn not only about your teammates, whether that be guys next to you or guys ahead or behind you in the depth chart. You get to learn where you're at, where you stand. It's a massive learning opportunity for you with the coaching staff on the practice field. So I think there's plenty to gain from players. It's more from the fan perspective that it's useless. You're not going to know anything. So I think, yeah, from that, I don't know if there's one I'm excited because I'm going to take everything I hear about guys with a grain of salt. But I think it's a great opportunity for the guys on the field for sure.
Yeah. Is there any kind of players that you're like, man, I want to see what he looks like, or maybe like reports about this guy? Is there anybody you're kind of excited about?
Sorry, this is bad, just content, but no, because I'm not going to necessarily, to the point you said about Chris Brazel and Don, like I'm only going to believe it so much, if at all. So what's the use of being excited about a player, I guess?
Yeah.
So
and that's kind of the only thing that you can really get out of this stuff is like the freshmen. What do they look like in pads? Like the big thing a couple years
look
ago,
like in pads. You're not going to see them do anything with them.
Right. Right. Or can you see like, do they look up to speed and stuff like that? Like a couple years ago, Jalen Hurd, when he was a freshman, you heard so much about him, and then in the spring game, you're like, okay, like that guy is actually like a big specimen like we have read about. But now the spring game is like you don't really get to see a ton of 11 on 11, and no one really tackles, and it's just a whole lot of nothing.
Right. And it'd be fun to find out if, David Sanders is going to be able to do it year one, but are we going to really know that?
Yeah. Not until the games get but right. I do think it is a, I guess like not seeing them, but hearing reports, I guess, of like what they look like. And because that it is a huge spring for David Sanders. Like he has to show that he can handle it when the fall gets here. And like you've invested a lot of money in him too to like get him here, and so like that has to work. I think a guy like Edwin Spillman is interesting this spring because I think Arion Carter is your number one linebacker. I think Jeremiah Teenlander struggled a lot last year, so is that a guy that can maybe take his spot? He didn't really practice a whole lot last year, but when he was available, he usually got in the game. So I think there was something there that they like. Yeah, that's just a couple guys. Braylon Staley is one that like you need a guy at slot. You don't have Squirrel. Like you need a guy that can take that spot and run with it. Can he be as good as advertised? Like he was a big get out of South Carolina when you landed him. Can he, take over that role that's such a huge part in the offense is that slot?
Yeah, and I guess another question too going in, have we gotten a list of those who won't be participating other than the ones we know, for example, Jermont McCoy? Because that's another thing. Who's not going to participate? I got to imagine that list is going to be longer than you want it to be with so many questions.
Yeah, I think Arion Carter's not going through spring.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot more. I don't really know that full list of who's not going.
Gotcha.
Does Deshaun Bishop go through spring?
I mean, that's one of those. I don't know. He's played a lot, but you kind of hope so. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not though. Maybe you need him completely.
Jamal McCoy definitely.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah.
So with him out for spring, I mean, who's going to be your? I assume it's going to be Rickey Gibson, Jalen McMurray. Who is behind them? Those guys, like that's a big position to watch. Another position to watch is backup quarterback. You have George McIntyre coming in, compete with Jake Merklinger. Gaston Moore is gone, so that backup spot is there. And especially if you're going to ask Nico to use his legs as much as he did last year, or even more so if you want to be successful, that guy has to be ready and has to be capable of, I guess, throwing a pick if you need him to.
Right. Turns out you can always use one.
Yeah, I mean that was a turning point in the season. So
I think so.
I think Gaston Moore deserves a lot more credit than he got by getting this team to the playoff.
Right. All right.
Anybody else?
No, I mean, it's spring practice is just so meh nowadays. I would love to hear coaches' like unfiltered thoughts on it.
What about fall? Like anybody, you're like, this guy needs to take a step.
Oh, how much time we have?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
You need someone at center to step up after the party of Cooper Mays. Is it William Satterwhite? I mean, that's the assumed guy, right?
Or him or Max Anderson.
Yeah, but I mean, I would think Satterwhite's in the driver's seat, right?
Pendleton could probably play that as well.
Yeah, and then I mean, you do have some freshmen that are probably going to get opportunities to play offensively. Is Mike Matthews? Hate to use this term, but we're in that era now. So is he worth the money? How are we going to use him? Would really love another wide receiver step up, whether it's Braylon Staley or Chris Brazel. I don't know, but would love another one to be that. It really, you need
how much does Blue Carter play offense?
I bet I'm going to go with under 10 snaps for the season. That's just how it feels. I would love if it's more, but he stays for that. Apparently under 10 is what it feels like. I'm talking about Tennessee ways to do things. There you go. Nailed it. Who's your RB1? And it's probably going to be a lot of split carries, but I'm curious who lines up first. I mean, is it Peyton Lewis or do they give Deshaun Bishop the nod? I don't know. Defensively, linebacker's a big one that I'm not concerned about that. I think you have a lot of options there. And that's probably one of the few areas which I don't know if I'm concerned of the defensive line. I think that's another area that really shores itself up, but who's going to be your guy that's getting to the quarterback off the edge? A lot of questions going into fall that will not a single one will be answered this spring. So can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Defensive line is interesting to me because you don't have a Amari Thomas there anymore to just eat up a bunch of snaps. You do have Bryson Easton back. I think Dominique Bailey's back. So you do kind of have some of that veteran presence, but it's still like you're losing James Pierce, just a kind of Elijah Simmons had some snaps. So just kind of those guys in reserve roles last year taking a step and being as productive as those guys on a really good defensive line. I think that's right. Joshua Josephs. I think this is a big year for for him to really step up and show he can play that edge spot. Who takes over for James Pierce? Or I guess Joshua Josephs might do that. Who takes over for Joshua Joseph's spot if that's the case? Is it Elijah Herring? Is it Jordan Ross? Marion Dye could be one of those. I mean, I think there's a lot to just like replace. I feel like
a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially on that defense, who was really good last year. So not only do you lose a guy, you lose a couple really good players off that to I don't know.
Yeah. A lot to learn about this team. Don't plan on doing it this spring. Sorry.
What do you think about the 9.5? I know it's super early, but this is like we're kind of off season, so we can talk about just random crap. The 9.5 win total for Tennessee.
I didn't see that, but I mean, after this year, I want to tell you take the over because that schedule is probably going to be line up for it. But I'd probably stay away from that one if we're being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, if I predicted, I think we both predicted around 9-3 last year. I think that's probably fair this year, and maybe even less than that, losing your offensive SEC player of the year. I think that's a tough one to lose. Losing some of that defensive line, losing James Pierce. I just think there's a lot to replace to get back to that point. And yeah, you lost a game you shouldn't, but you beat Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Florida was close, Kentucky was close, so I just think they could easily lose 4 or 5 games in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we just ball out, all those young guys step up, and we don't miss a beat. But
let's do it, please.
Yep.
Please. All right. Got any stupidities for me?
BaseVols.
I thought we already talked about it, but we can do it again. I'm all for it.
Oh, I was just going to talk about the midweek games. So
Yeah.
Tennessee did play Radford on Tuesday, won that one 22-9 in 7 innings. And I mean, yeah, it looked like a football score, but this game was tied 9-9 at one point. Tennessee had 3 errors really quick. Radford jumped out to a 3-0 lead and then kind of went back and forth a little bit. And then in the 5th inning, Tennessee took the lead and added another run in the 6th. And then the 7th inning, they scored 11 runs.
Yeah, it was bananas how quick that one got out of hand. And that's just what you have with this Tennessee team that can hit the way they hit.
Yeah, 2 grand slams in that 7th inning to walk that one off. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because that was a game where I'm like, dude, this is rough. Like, this is a game Tennessee could end up losing, and they end up run rolling them. So, yeah, it just – bats got going. They turned it upside down. The pitching got a lot better. That was – Dylan Moy came in and just kind of shut down Radford. Went 2 1/3, 4 strikeouts, no hits, no earned runs, no runs, no walks. So really good outing for Dylan Moy. Good to see him back on the mound for Tennessee. And then Xavier, who is a pretty good mid-major team. I think 11.7 ranked them at like 10th in the mid-major. They do a mid-major ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And they jumped out to a 1-0 lead, and Tennessee said, hold on. we'll go 4 innings, and then Andrew Fisher hits his home run, and he's hot right now. I mean, that was a guy I was talking about on the bat flip. I was like, man, he's gonna have to like get it going a little bit. I was saying on Sunday, I was like, man, that's a good. Hopefully that gets him going, because that was a big home run that he hit in Houston, and then he just has been on fire since. So good to see that. Gavin Killen remains hot. Levi Clark is the best freshman in the country. It's not even close. I know what you're thinking. No, it's not the kid from LSU. I got in an argument with a guy last night on Twitter about it.
No, not you.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
Well, I mean, the guy comments on my I don't follow this guy. He's an LSU fan, and I'm talking about Levi Clark, not saying anything about this LSU player. And he's like, he's the best freshman not named. I forget what even his name is at LSU, but Levi Clark has less at bats, more home runs, more RBIs, a better batting average, better on base percentage. So yeah, his argument was irrelevant.
There you go. That's the answer.
Yeah. I'd like to see this team continue to hit the ball, continue to. I mean, they're using a ton of pitchers in the midweeks, but I really like what they have on the mound on the weekends with Doyle, Phillips, Snead, Tanner Franklin, Tegan Coons. I thought looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he only pitched an inning, so he'll probably go some this weekend. AJ Russell, we'll see him again. He didn't pitch at all in Houston, and then didn't pitch in the midweek, so I assume he'll be back for St. Bonaventure in some capacity. So looking forward to that. The Bonnies coming to town this weekend, so it'll be kind of last tune-up for the weekend series before you welcome Florida the week after.
Yep, absolutely. The Bonnies.
The Bonnies, oh yeah. You think they're good at baseball?
Probably strangely good, but probably not a competitive one.
I don't know I haven't even really looked at them. The Bonnies is a sick nickname, though.
It is. Absolutely. That's we talked about it. That's where Woj is at now, doing their sports and information stuff for, I think, basketball, I would assume. And Chase hadn't seen this. Did you see where that he's selling his phones for NIL?
Woj?
Yeah.
He retired from ESPN?
Yeah.
And went to St. Bonaventure?
Yeah, that was his I think it's his alma mater.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't super telling of it, but they beat Middle Tennessee 13-3. They're just on a Tennessee tour right now. They lost to Vanderbilt 14-1. They beat Morehead State, lost twice to them.
They beat
Looks
UT
like they
Martin.
won a series with Gardner Webb.
Okay.
I wasn't going to mention, is UT Martin any good? I know MTSU is usually solid. I don't know anything.
No, not really.
Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up Vanderbilt. That is a great point I wanted to bring up. Tennessee has 7 grand slams so far this season. Vanderbilt has 7 total home runs.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So they I don't know, they like to poke fun at Tennessee for the small ballpark, but my rebuttal to that was, why don't you recruit more guys to hit home runs?
Well, he don't have to check his own bats.
That's true.
Embarrassing.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, you can hide under the radar hitting 7 home runs. No one's going to check your bat. I mean, he might be waiting. He might just use up all of his timeouts in the first inning to check Fisher and Keelan and Curley and Clark and all their bats.
That would be electric. I hope we get another Tim Corbin blow up.
And then a Tony Vitello blow up right after it.
Oh, I know we will. Yeah. Yeah. His is usually funnier in the way that you're not laughing at him necessarily.
Yeah.
He usually just makes you laugh, which is nice.
Yeah, something we didn't talk about was the Alberto Asuna deal.
Yeah, none of it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Pretty garbage. And I don't really know where they kind of go from there. I mean, I guess there is a path to get him, but I think that was kind of like all hands on deck on that when it was denied. Maybe you're like, okay, where do we go from here?
I just don't. I mean, I don't get how the Pavia thing is still happening if there's now been 2 judges rule against it, with the NCAA not file some type of motion to have that TRO dismissed. I don't understand it. I don't know how it all works. And then they're in different U.S. districts, so I don't know how it works. But I imagine, I don't know where Pavia filed his, or Asuna filed his. I don't know. I don't get all of it. It's so dumb. Can we get the Judge Pavia guy? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, for real.
How do we do that?
Yeah, I love the argument from the beginning. It was like, what's different? Nothing, but that guy was wrong.
Which I kind of respect that to a degree. It's like,
Yeah.
we believe this should be the case all the time. That sounds like a losing argument to me, but I kind of respect it.
Yeah, but he was wrong. I don't know. I just think like it's crap. And I mean, of course, the one thing the NCAA can win in court is something to keep players from being eligible. I just think that's laughable because their one thing is we're here to protect the student athlete. Well, which one? Just a quarterback, or it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, if they really cared about the student athlete, they'd be like, yeah, you can't play at Tennessee. We will okay you to go play at Tampa where you're at.
Yeah.
If they wanted to make it right, but they don't care.
Yeah, I don't get all this.
I mean, that just sucks for him. I mean, he kind of put all of his eggs in one basket, and I guess, that was kind of always on the table, but, I think he probably thought it was gonna be granted, and I think Tennessee did too, and, it sucks it kind of turned out the way that it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a kind of FU to the NCAA when they had him coach first base the other night. That's funny.
I'm trying to read about the Pavia and get caught up, but
one thing I think that kind of comes of it is, I mean, where do you put Asuna?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a kind of similar to a problem that already exists at Tennessee currently. It's just you just have this wealth of talent that you have to deal with, and we've talked about it a little bit. That it's a good problem to have, but it's good to have it that way. But you also have to get it right at the end of the day, and tough decisions to be made. Seems like he got at least the most important ones right last year, so we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, they wanted that power right-handed bat. I don't think they thought Levi Clark was kind of going to be what Levi Clark is doing. And then you have Fisher that's playing a good enough first base, I feel like, and Manny Marin's playing well at third. You have Levi Clark that can play first a little bit, and Andrew Fisher can go to third. I just think like it maybe works itself out. It sucks for Asuna, but maybe works itself out where you're not, taking playing time away from somebody else who earns it.
Right. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be honest. I want to get out of here because I don't like looking at your frozen screen. It's creeping me out.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I mean, we've been here for an hour and 15. I think we've hit the high points and the low points, unfortunately, because there have been some. But yeah, I feel awkward. That's
Okay.
just me.
Yeah.
Unless you have any more baseball, I don't want to go away from baseball.
No. I'm good. Ready for this weekend. Ready to see a lot more home runs. See Liam Doyle take the mound tomorrow night. Just
supposed to warm up this weekend, right?
Who knows? I thought it was supposed to rain, so who
I
knows?
see cloudy, maybe rain too. High 58 during the day on Saturday.
Okay. Getting better.
We're getting back after apparently some snow last night, so that's fun. It's always fun.
All right. Most important or fail, stupidity. I don't know what's going on.
That's okay.
My stupidity was, dude, have you seen the new Storm Chasers at Barstool?
Yeah.
Oh man.
They were bad last year too.
I didn't even notice them. They did the same thing last year.
It wasn't the same group, but yeah.
Oh. Dang. Yeah, that should have died with the original people.
Yeah, you let, if you can recreate something, you got to like full on recreate it. You can't take over.
Yeah.
Not allowed. It looks like they might. You mentioned it. It looks like they might be storming tonight, though, Landon. I saw they went to Penn State and there was nobody there.
Yeah, why are they going all these like lame games?
Also, did you see where Texas A&M one student made it to the midcourt after their win? Yeah. They're at Iowa tonight. I'm not sure who they're playing, but it's Iowa, so. Yeah, is right. I don't know if
they're Iowa and Penn State.
They were at Penn State the other night. I don't know who Iowa's playing. They are 0 for 2 right now, I think, is what I've seen.
Did they just start this?
Storm chasing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always done it like leading up to March Madness.
Oh. They play Michigan State.
Okay.
They're up 1. Oh, no, they're down 1.
Oh, no. It's going to happen again. At least they get to go to the Buffalo Wild Wings.
I mean, watching them swag surfing, that was brutal to watch.
I didn't see that one. Our boy Brian Niedermeyer back in the mix is going to Denver.
I saw that.
It's pretty sick. Pretty sick.
Good for him. What a loser. Who was I saying the other day that they're a loser? Oh. God, what's his name? I'm glad I'm forgetting it. Dude in Nebraska.
Matt Rule.
Matt Rule, yeah, he's a loser. Brian Niedermeyer is also a loser.
He must know somebody with all the connections, going from IMG to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Speaking of Nebraska, they're doing something called the Husker Games. I guess it's how they'll end their spring football. It's going to be a 7-on-7 football game. There'll be volleyball games and then soccer games throughout the day, which Tennessee did that a few years ago with baseball, softball, and spring football, which I feel like you You need to time it all up right because no one's going to miss baseball for spring football game. Softball, probably, really, for that matter. It's a good idea, but you really do need to time all that stuff up right if you want to get any kind of
Traction.
crowd. Yeah. Any kind of just excitement around it. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's not an original idea, I guess. Shout out to Tennessee.
What did you think about Kim Caldwell and God, what's her name? They just got fired here.
Kelly Harper.
Kelly Harper.
It had to be awkward for both of them. Yeah. I don't know why the SEC feel like they could have put someone else in that seat for. They've had Kelly Harper on a few Tennessee games this year. It's got to be weird.
Yeah, it looked like the Lady Vols wanted to go home today.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that one, but saw the final. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know how you double up Texas A&M yesterday and then lay an egg against Vanderbilt, but whatever. not a great finish. And I mean, Kim Caldwell was just like, yeah, I need to be better at basically like how much I'm playing the players.
Right.
I'm like, that's not great to hear this late in the season. I guess you're admitting it, but yeah, it's
the first step. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
But anything else? this is your offense, so I feel like you need to figure that out pretty quick.
I think that team has a few things to figure out for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
All right. Appreciate you guys listening. It's
Yeah.
been as fun as it could be. Promise.
Yeah, sorry about my camera. That's
you're good.
Brutal.
It happens.
I'll be back next week.
Better than ever.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys, go check out hoviedrygoods.com. Use promo code MORE for 20% off your first purchase. And or 15% off your first purchase. Sorry, 15%. Use promo code MORE to do that. They have the best hats. More hats coming soon. And check out our good friends at gradeagrounds.com. Caleb, do you have anything you want to mention to them?
Grade A Grounds. They're 10% off with promo code MORE, MORE. It's great coffee for a great cause. Support some local organizations in Northeast Tennessee, that Johnson City area we were talking about. Love Grade A Grounds coffee. Going to have to go prep mine for tomorrow so I can get going in the morning. It's not been a good coffee week, but I'm going to turn that around with some Grade A Grounds tomorrow. Use promo code MORE, MORE, for 10% off today. They're also doing fundraisers. Make sure you go to the website, check that out. If you want to get signed up for one that you can sell bags of coffee for fundraiser for your team, church, school, whatever it may be, we can get you into contact with them. You can go to gradeagrounds.com to do that and purchase that bag while you're there. Use promo code MORE.
Guys, thank y'all again for listening. Have a good weekend. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.